I think that is really the discussion on a very important period we all have, at least in Central and Eastern Europe states. Because all these are post-socialist countries, societies, and all they had this way really from coming from a kind of socialism to a new formation in the society. And if you have a look closer, we see that it's not the same way for all, but different in all countries. And for our common understanding and mutual understanding, it's very relevant to understand not only our own history, but also of the neighbors. And this is because here's a dialogue at place. At the same time, it's really our task also to come back to these thoughts and experience we had 20 years, 25, 30 years ago. There was a starting point maybe in '89 with the fall of the wall. For a lot of people this was the crucial point in the timeline. But if this began, of course it started earlier, maybe in 1980 in Poland with the Solidarność movement, or with the perestroika in the Soviet Union. But even if we have a look at the Soviet Union, we see that the narratives between the distinguished republics are very different and absolutely other in Lithuania than in Russia, and absolutely other in Ukraine than in Georgia. All they have very specific ways, very specific memory, and there's an individual history together with family history, regional history, and this collective experience. And this is what we should have in mind, what we should go deeper into and have our dialogue on. We started together DRA, our organization, together with 4 other partners in Bulgaria, from Ukraine, from Croatia, from Romania in 2015. And later joined Poland and Russia. And this was a small initiative, firstly, only to get a mapping of a generation. But mostly it was a question for their parents, for the elders. And so it became later not only a mapping of one generation, but the question, what was this transition? When did it start? Had it already an end, or is it in transition further? And what are really the differences in the history and perception of our countries? We see that we have big conflicts and protests in Eastern Germany, the former GDR. The fact that the reunification of Germany was done by this Article 23, and this was the choice of the majority of inhabitants of GDR in the course of the only ones and last elections. Yeah? This fact that this was done by Article 23 and not by the other alternative possibility of Article 146, this means that we only joined to a ready system. That it was not a common experience of changing, but a minority of about 20% of people of the new country came into a ready and established system. And this is not a case of empowerment, as we would like to have it. It was a question of mistrust, of unreadiness, and a lot of trust. All this was not forgotten, but hidden. And it came up in the last years, and now we have a very critical situation in Eastern Germany. And one of the factors we should deal with is these narratives, more different narratives on transition period.